Hello YouTube. Mount Baigong in the Chinese province of Qinghai, adjacent to Tibet, according to legend, is an ancient pyramid, as confirmed by its shape. Next to it, there are two lakes, one fresh, the other salty. Very interesting paradox, some say inexplicable. There are depressions in the mountain which, judging by the polished walls, are man-made caves. Two collapsed and one remains. A pipe stretches through the cave, descending from the top of the mountain. Another pipe leads from the bottom of the cave into the bowels of the earth. In addition, pipes run in the walls. They all have different diameters and resemble a complex artificial system. Remains of pipes are also found on the shore and at the bottom of the salt lake. According to chemical analysis, the pipes consist of iron oxide, calcium, silicon. 8% of the composition could not be determined. Many of the pipes emit radiation and are believed to be 150,000 years old. According to the official account, the pipes are petrified tree trunks and roots, but a number of details contradict the theory of their natural origin. So what I'm giving you is the information from the Russian sources, which I continuously monitor. I'm sure you've heard about this story in your countries. It's by now well known, but I want to give you the Russian perspective. You may find something very interesting in it. So let me continue. Sometimes it seems that all our modern computers and machines are just a repetition of the path of development of civilization that has already been traversed once. This is confirmed by that mysterious discovery made in the Chinese province of Qinghai on the unique mountain Baigong. Mysterious pipes that were discovered there, and the story of the pipes is one of the unsolved mysteries of the last decades. This incredible discovery made by a group of American scientists in China who were searching for dinosaur remains in the Baigong Mountains and suddenly stumbled upon several caves in which there was a strange object that attracted their attention. It's been making the rounds on the pages of the news publications, but has not yet been subjected to serious scientific study. Because of this, accounts of the origin of strange objects arise one after another and seem to compete in improbability. Ancient water supply system, a device for draining a lake, even a launch pad for alien spaceships. Everyone chooses what they like best. For the first time, the general public learned about the pipes of Mount Baigong relatively recently, in June of 2002, when a report appeared in one of the Chinese newspapers stating that a discovery has been made in the Qinghai province, central China, which allegedly cast doubt on all human history. As it turned out later, the find was somewhat earlier, not in 2002, but for the first time, no one simply paid attention to it. There's nothing surprising in this. In principle, Qinghai is too far from civilization. This godforsaken province, located on the outskirts of the Chinese state, in a rather deserted area, and deserted not only by Chinese standards. From the nearest city of Delinga, with a population of 100,000 people, it is separated by 40 kilometers. The discovery was made in that part of the province adjacent to Tibet, where there is a desert region and where even shepherds do not set up their huts. However, a wide path has been trodden to it. Hundreds of curious pilgrims, scientists, mystics, go to the foothills of Baigong every year. There, where there are two amazing lakes, popularly called lakes of lovers, one with fresh water, the other with salt water, like I said, which is already impossible in principle. By the way, to this day, no one has been able to explain this paradox of nature. And if the fresh lake does not stand out in anything special, then on the southern coast of the Salt Lake Tucson, if you climb 60 meters along the spurs of the mountains, you can find yourself at the foot of a very lonely mountain. True, according to the beliefs of local residents, Baigong is actually not a mountain, but a pyramid built by someone unknown but very powerful. And it is at the foot of this supposed pyramid that the main miracle is located. 3 depressions in Mount Baigong have been known to local residents since ancient times. The entrances to the outermost ones have collapsed, and not a single guard can say with certainty how long their vaults collapsed. The third, middle one, is still standing. Its white walls are smooth, as if polished. It is only 2 meters wide, 8 meters high, and 6 meters deep, and resembles a medieval alcove. The surprising thing is that through this entire cave stretches part of a pipe that descends from the top of the mountain and is lost at the very end. The pipe is not small. Its diameter is about 40 centimeters. There's another pipe that starts from the bottom of the cave and goes somewhere deep into the earth. The pipes look as if they are made of rusty iron and give the impression of the remains of some ancient system or mechanism. There are 12 such formations in total in this place, and according to other sources, even much more. All of them are of different diameters, from 10 to 40 centimeters, often intertwined with each other and have intricate geometry. These pipes, according to experts, were clearly created by those who knew a lot about engineering. According to eyewitnesses, they are intertwined into a complex system which indicates an extremely high level of technology among their creators. So Tucson Lake is located 80 meters from Baigong Mountain. If you leave the cave and walk along the shore of the lake closest to the mountain, you can see the remains of similar iron pipes that came out either from the rock or from the ground. They are very similar to the ones in the cave. All of them are laid from the east to west and have a relatively small diameter, which varies from 2 to 5 centimeters. Particularly meticulous researchers managed to find tubes with a diameter no thicker than a toothpick. Pipes are allegedly found in the lake itself, both at the bottom and sticking out on the surface. Surprisingly, not one of them has been clogged with anything over the years of existence. Divers who once climbed to the caves along with one expedition explored the bottom of the lake and stated that it was replete with similar structures. Some can be found right on the surface. The rest is hidden in a layer of silt. Samples of these formations were taken. Metallurgists have established that 30% of the pipes consist of iron oxide, and there is also a lot of oxidized silicon and calcium. This indicates that the pipes are of considerate age, perhaps 20 to 30,000 years old. So who turned this mountain in China into a giant mechanism? Scientists believe that the caves are man-made, and these communications are the remains of a large structure, which in ancient times could have served extraterrestrial civilizations to launch their spaceships. Some ufologists seriously consider Mount Baigong as the oldest cosmodrome or spaceport. True, they have not yet decided what exactly the pipes were used for pumping either water or air. Perhaps it was aliens who once built a network of tunnels spread all over the world, and then for some reason they left our planet. About the tunnels, you can see my videos about Urals, Siberia, Far East, other places. It remains a mystery to geologists to this day how such an amount of iron could get into these places. After all, if the local soils were rich in iron ores, it could be assumed that under pressure of magma, rock saturated with iron rose to the surface and took a bizarre shape. However, multiple soil samples and subsurface scanning showed that there are no metal ore deposits nearby, near the mountain. The geological phenomenon remains a phenomenon. Another mystery is that many pipes emit radiation. This became clear after research conducted in 2007. Are these pipes the remains of units with which alien spaceships were refueled before launch? Some scientists are confident that the pipes are the remains of an ancient water supply system. Rumors came from somewhere that on the top of Mount Baigong, which itself, like I said, resembles a pyramid, there was once a pyramid about 50 to 60 meters high. On one of its surfaces, there were 3 triangular shafts, as well as several wells leading to the foot of the mountain. The pyramid supposedly contained some kind of complex mechanism to which water from Lake Toson flowed through a complex system of pipes. However, if we assume that this is the case, then who built this strange object and what was its purpose? The hypothesis that this engineering miracle was built by ancient Chinese disappears immediately. Residents of the Middle Kingdom, as China is called, are the authors of many inventions, and one of them is bureaucracy. It is simply impossible to imagine that such a large scale and without exaggeration great construction project was not reflected in any Chinese source. After any large construction projects, documents would inevitably be preserved, and the emperor, during whose reign this happened, would have made sure that this great deed was not forgotten by his descendants. So maybe the construction was secret. Who knows? Maybe one of the ancient rulers carried out some experiments there. Maybe he was trying to get the immortality pills that the Chinese have dreamt of since ancient times, or was preparing a super weapon to defeat their enemies. Even if so, it is not clear why only a few pipes have survived from such a tremendous project, and no traces of mechanisms, instruments, or laboratories. And the ancient Chinese did not know how to make such iron pipes. By the way, so far none of the scientists have even made an assumption at what time this mysterious structure could have been built. More precisely, what's left of it. Only one thing is clear: it is very ancient. In order to seriously talk about who created the pipes of Mount Baigong, it is necessary to carry out a detailed chemical analysis of the material from which they are made. So far, one of the few who have done this is the Chinese scientist Liu Shaoling. However, he only told journalists about the results of his research, but has not yet shared them with his fellow scientists. According to Liu Shaoling, the pipes are mainly composed of oxides of iron, calcium, and silicon. Interestingly, the Chinese consider approximately 8% of the composition unidentifiable. Scientists who take the position of official science believe that the Baigong pipes are most likely quite ordinary, although original and form calcite formation. Most likely, these are so-called pseudomorphoses. They are obtained when a mineral gradually replaces the form of an organic object, for example, a mollusk shell. This is exactly how the fossilization process occurs, thanks to which we know the appearance of many ancient inhabitants of our planet. In this case, apparently calcite replaced not the remains of ancient organisms, but ordinary tree roots that had grown through the thickness of the rock. Everyone who has ever been to the mountains knows that old mighty trees are capable of this, and the largest pipe in diameter is most likely a petrified tree trunk. True, this roots theory does not explain the fact that the pipes are straight and do not bend smoothly, as in principle roots should, but at angles. And what kind of radiation can there be at the roots? But scientists, they still stand their ground. After studying the Baigong pipes with an atomic spectroscope in 2003, Chinese scientists discovered clear traces of organic matter there. It's hard for them not to show up there if there is nothing but organic matter around. They also refer to the fact that objects similar to the pipes of Mount Baigong are found in other parts of the world. But there they have long been studied and clearly identified as geological formation. One of these objects is the famous Navajo sandstone in the southern United States. This rock, which every tourist in America, at least that's what the Russian thinks, dreams of seeing, is literally riddled with pipes with a diameter ranging from fractions of a centimeters to half a meter. A quick glance at them clearly shows the iron walls of these pipes up to 2 centimeters thick. In fact, it's just a game of nature. Navajo sandstone is extremely rich in iron. The decomposition of iron spar, siderite mineral, gives such strange shapes that look like rings or pipes. Cylindrical formations similar to the Baigong chimneys can also be seen in the United States, state of Louisiana, and the east bank of the Mississippi River. The cylinders, reaching a length of about a meter and 70 centimeters in diameter, are the roots of ancient pine trees replaced by iron ore. Be that as it may, the mystery of the pipes of Mount Baigong really exists and requires further study and research. Even if the Chinese discovery has nothing to do with an alien spaceship base, it is still incredibly interesting because it could shed light on ancient history, in which, as recent discoveries show, things can happen that don't fit into any of our usual frameworks. And this is just but one of the incredibly fascinating stories from China's ancient past. I have a whole playlist about it, and I had the privilege of lecturing in Hong Kong over a decade ago. And because I'm from the Soviet Union, and in general, and particularly because Chinese history and culture has been very, to me, of a great interest. And this, the far east of Russia is right there with China, on the border with China. Things are happening, and I'm doing my research, and I'm finding very interesting things that I will tell you more about. It's kind of, you're getting a convergence of Russian and Chinese paranormal phenomena. I'll continue to do so. I think more attention should be paid in the countries outside of Eurasia, to China, Mongolia, Russia, and nearby lands. So I'll continue. If you can support my research, you can do so through the links you will discover in the description to this video. Please like my videos. Please tell others about my channel. Thank you for your attention to my work.